Hi, welcome to my channel. So today we are making and decorating a full-size giant cookie. So this is a 12-inch cookie and I'm going to show you how to make it, how to make the icing and how to decorate it. So it is absolutely perfect. Now I have made and decorated and sold thousands of these cookies and I've used the same fail-safe recipe every single time. So you're going to start off with your softened butter and add in some brown and granulated sugar. Now all the recipe is going to be down in the description below. So you're going to mix all that up with an electric mixer if you have. If not, you could use a wooden spoon. It would just take a little bit extra work. Add in your egg, blend it all together. And finally, you're going to add in your plain flour. And to that, you're going to add some cornflour, some baking soda, and a little bit of salt. Now, I like to mix everything together with a wooden spoon at this point because I don't want to overwork the flour, because this way you're going to get a nice, soft, fluffy cookie and not a bready, hard cookie, which would happen if you used the mixer. Okay, so you mix everything together until all that flour disappears. You don't want to have any white bits of flour left because that's going to end up all the way through your cookie when you come to bake it. So keep mixing until it is completely disappeared. Now to this, you're going to add in your chocolate chips. You can add a mixture of plain and milk chocolate, which is what I like to do, and it makes it sure it's not too sweet. Mix them in until they are completely through all of your cookie dough. The mixture might be getting quite stiff by this point, so keep going with your wooden spoon until everything is really thoroughly mixed. You might need to take a spatula every so often and scrape everything off of your spoon. And then you want to get this onto a baking tray. Now, any kind of round baking tray, this one's about 12 inches wide. I covered it in greaseproof paper. I think this was actually a pizza tray that I had. Covered it in greaseproof paper, worked a treat. When you get all that dough onto the tray, you're going to just use your hands and gently push it all down until it's level. You want to push it until it's fairly out, until almost to the edge, leaving a little bit so that it can spread a little bit in the oven. Try and do this quite quickly because you don't want your warm hands to melt the butter too much. So press all the way around until it is as level as you can and as round as you can. Try and make sure that the edges are kind of as neat as you can get them, because that will help your final result of the cookie being as neat as you can. And then into the oven, it should take about 20 minutes. And then it will come out golden brown, looking lovely. Get it pulled off using the greaseproof paper and get it cooled down. Now, while it's cooling, you're going to make the icing, and all you're going to do is mix up your butter, whisk it up until it is nice and fluffy. You're going to add in half of your icing sugar, and then you're going to whisk that again until it's completely blended in and all the icing sugar has disappeared. Once you've got to this point, you should find that you should be able to add in the rest of the icing sugar and completely mix it all again. So keep going with the whisk until all that icing sugar has disappeared. Now the mixture will be quite stiff at this point. So what you're then going to have to do once it's all mixed in is you're going to have to add in a little bit of milk just to loosen the mixture so that you're able to pipe it. So keep mixing and you should end up with this nice light fluffy mixture of icing. And then it's time to colour it. So you're going to take about a third of your icing over into a bowl. Now I use the sugar flare dye. It is the best dye around, and it will colour your icing to a proper shade much better than any of that supermarket stuff. So you just use a clean cocktail stick every single time, add in a little bit at a time. If you're not happy with the shade, add in a little bit extra. So I wasn't quite happy with how dark this was, added in a little bit more with a clean cocktail stick, mixed it all through. And then I find that I actually achieved the shade that I wanted with the dark blue. So once I was happy with that, I still had my white icing set to one side, and I went and grabbed some nozzles and some piping bags. Now I just used these nozzles. I've put all the information of these down in the description, and I use disposable piping bags. So what you want to do is put your nozzle in that you use for writing. It's the larger one. Cut it off so it's about halfway down the nozzle. And then you're ready to put in your blue icing. So if you fold the top of the icing bag back, you'll find you'll be able to add the icing in without it going all over the edges of the bag or the outside of the bag, and you'll keep your hands completely clean. Push it all down towards the bottom. And then when you start piping, you start from the middle, which is a much easier way of doing it. Start from the middle and pipe your way out the way. Now, this was a cookie that I was doing for my son that was doing a 24-hour relay race for cancer research. So I did it all for a bit of a sugar boost for them all as a bit of a treat. So I started from the middle of each word and I worked my way outwards. Take your time with this. If you want to practice on a bit of greaseproof paper, and then you can put it all back into the bowl of icing. You don't have to worry about wasting icing. Then what I do is I use the thinner nozzle. I fill that bag with white icing. And I just do this and pipe it on the top of the writing I've already done, and I find it brings out the icing colour much more. It makes the writing stand out much better. So then I pipe all the way over all the writing that I've done already. So this is exactly why we were so careful to whisk in all that icing sugar earlier on, because if there was any lumps of icing sugar left in now, it would get stuck in the nozzle, and it's a complete nightmare. Trust me, I learned from experience. So pipe with that really thin nozzle all the way over the top of the icing that you've already done, and that makes the lettering stand out so much better. So finally, when you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your larger open star nozzle, put it into the bag that you've already used with the coloured icing, and then put some more coloured icing into that bag. Push it all the way to the bottom again, use your right hand or whatever hand you use for writing, and then start piping around the edge, just a small squeeze every single time, and then let go and lift. And what I find doing the outside edge this way, it neatens it up. So even if you have an uneven edge, it makes it look an awful lot neater. And then repeat the same with the white icing. And as you can see, it makes the whole thing just look so much more finished and so much better than that raw edge of the cookie that you had before. So all the way around to the top, and that is you done. So if you have enjoyed or learned anything from this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.